Welcome everyone to this lesson. In this lesson, we will talk about a crucial or important definition, which is called the ripple factor of half-wave rectifier. This lesson and all of the next lesson regarding half-wave rectifiers representing some definitions that we will use in every circuit, in every rectifier circuit. All of these definitions are used to express the efficiency and how well the rectifier will convert the AC into DC. So starting with the ripple factor. What does ripple mean? Ripple is simply the unwanted AC component remaining when converting AC voltage into DC waveform. So as you can see here, we have this original waveform, which is AC, and this waveform, which is considered as DC, however, not completely DC. If you remember DC, what I'm talking about, I would like it to be like this constant value. However, this variation going from 0 to up and down, 0, up and down, all of this variation is what we call a ripple. Okay, similar to like this, you will find that if we have like this, a signal like this, output signal like this, okay, this is also considered the DC, however with ripples. This variation called ripple, going up, down, like this. This is called ripple. However, a pure DC will be like this constant value. Now what we see here, it has also another, this is called also the pulsating DC waveform. Okay, DC waveform, as you can see, in form of pulse, like this. Okay, so this is what we ripples here. This is what we call the AC component that is presented inside the output waveform. So even if we try our best to remove all of the AC components, there is still some left on the output side, which pulsates the DC waveform. The one which goes like this is the AC component inside the output waveform. Now this undesirable AC component is called ripple. Now to quantify how well the half-wave rectifier can convert AC into DC, we use something which is called a ripple factor, one of the definitions that will help us understand how efficient is this rectifier. So the ripple factor is very simple. It is a ratio between RMS value of the AC voltage and the DC voltage of the rectifier. So here gamma will be RMS value of the AC component divided by value of DC. Now value of DC component, here we are talking about the output DC component. What is the output DC component? It is simply V average. VDC is simply V average. So the average of the output component is considered as the DC part. Now this first one is very important, RMS value of AC component. So it is VR RMS. What does this mean? If you look at this signal here, this signal is basically consisting of VDC plus VAC. So it consisting of two components. Part of it, which is the DC, which is the average value, and the other one, which is the AC, which is causing this pulsation or causing the ripples. So as you can see, it is RMS. So what the first one here is the RMS of the AC component. Okay, the AC part of the signal is VR RMS. Okay, however, VRMS, which we obtained before in the previous lessons when we talked about consumed power or output power or anything, VRMS in general is the whole RMS of the signal. So again, we have DC and AC. DC only is the average part. AC here is the one which is causing ripples. Okay, so RMS of this, only this component is the first one here. However, RMS of all of these will give us the RMS of the whole signal. Okay, I don't think you understand anything, but let's see this with equations so you can understand. So in order to get this AC part, which is causing the ripples or pulsations, it will be like this. The V out signal as a function of time, this signal is consisting of two components. Part of it, which is AC, or the one which is causing the ripples or pulsations, and the DC, which is a constant value, which is the average value. Now, well, let's say I would like to get VRMS, this component only, the root mean square of the AC component only. It will be like this: VRMS 1 over T, integration from 0 to T for this part only, VAC, which is the one which is causing pulsations, square all under the square root, as you can see here. Okay, so we took only VRMS, root mean square of just the AC component. Now, how can we get this value? It's simply from this equation, V output minus VDC, like this. So if we square both sides in order to eliminate this one, like this, square, VRMS square will be 1 over T, integration from 0 to T to 4 the output signal minus the average. This difference will give us only the AC component presented on the inside the output waveform. Okay, so here V out minus VDC all square, it will be V out square minus 2 V out DC plus VDC square. Okay, now let's divide this. 1 over T, integration from 0 to T for V out square, this part, and 1 over T, integration from 0 to T of negative 2 V out VDC, negative 1 over T, this part is this one. Okay, the last one, which is the integration 0 to T, 1 over T, integration from 0 to T for the DC component. The DC component is a constant value. So the integration of a constant value from 0 to T for this one, let's just write it. For this part, it will be 1 over T, integration from 0 to T, for VDC square dt, okay, dt, okay, like this. So integration from 0 to T, it will give us 1 over T, which is this part, multiplied by this VDC is a constant value, V average is a constant value, so it will be VDC square as it is, multiplied by, from 0 to T, it means multiplied by T. So T will go with T, and we'll have VDC square, like this, plus VDC square. So we have these two components remaining, this one and this one. So again, what we did is that we divided this integration into 3 parts. First part, second part, and third one. Now 1 over T, integration from 0 to T of the whole signal square. Do you remember what this is representing? This one, 1 over T, this part. This representing VRMS square, the root mean square of the whole signal. 1 over T, integration from 0 to T of the square of the voltage. Under the square root, it will give us VRMS of the whole output. However, since we don't have the square root, it will be only square. It will be squared of this voltage. Minus 2 VDC over T, integration from 0 to T, V out dt. Okay, now integration of this part, 1 over T, integration from 0 to T, V out. What does this represent? Representing V average, right? 1 over T, integration from 0 to T, for V out dt. This representing V average, right? So it will be V average multiplied by 2 VDC over T. And the V average is similar to VDC, so we can say V average as VDC. right? So VDC multiplied by 2 VDC over T, it will give us what? 2 VDC square, 2 VDC square, right? 1 over T integration is the average that we obtain, so there is no 1 over T. So we have VRMS square minus 2 VDC square plus VDC. If you subtract this from this, you will have negative VDC square. So here VRMS, it will be like this. How did we get this? Very simple. Gamma is equal to VRMS, which is the root mean square of this part. So VRMS is equal to root, if we remove this square, it will be root of VRMS square minus VDC square divided by VDC, right? If I would like to get VDC under the square root, I will do like this, put it under the square root and make VDC as square. So if we divide this to VRMS square over VDC square minus VDC over VDC, it will give us minus 1. So as you can see, this part will be minus 1 and this part will be VRMS square over VDC or VRMS over VDC all square, as you can see here. So this formula is the one which is used to get the ripple factor, okay? Now, if we apply this is a general rule. This one is the general rule that will be applied to any rectifier circuit. Now, if we apply this rule to the half-wave rectifier, we have VRMS equal to Vmax over 2. And VDC is equal to Vmax over pi. Okay, so like this, Vmax over 2, Vmax over pi. If you substitute in this equation, you will get finally 1.21. So as you can see here, this is a ripple factor, 1.21. The higher this number, the more ripples that you have in the output. So we will try to minimize this value as possible. So in general, how can we minimize ripples inside rectifiers using capacitors and inductors as a filter? So to be more specific, capacitors will be connected in parallel like this. When we connect a capacitor in parallel with the load, you will find that this waveform will become like this. Okay, it will be let's say the first one, it will go like this, and then go down like this. So it will be something like this, go from this point and start discharging and then going up, then go down. This in the end depends on the value of the capacitor used. Okay, so the higher the value, the lower the ripples that you will have at the output waveform. Okay.